Welcome to another RnR video workout. This session is a dryland swim session. It's designed to help build strength in the upper body for swimmers and benefit other athletes alike. To get the most from this session, it's best that you have a firm understanding of every exercise it contains, so please watch the video first before starting. There are two options when performing this workout. Option A is to perform each exercise for 60 seconds and then move on to the next. Or, option B, you can perform 10 to 15 repetitions and then move on to the next exercise, and that way you could assign an overall duration to the session. So for instance, you could go from 10 all the way up to 50 minutes, and then you would complete as many rounds as possible during that time, depending on your condition, of course. So for each option, you could add a 15-second rest period to help to maintain your form. The 2 Armbow. This exercise is a big strength exercise for swimming. You're really trying to use your lats as much as you can, and they're the main muscles that you're going to try and strengthen. Your biceps are secondary to this exercise, but they still get a good workout. The key is to keep the reps smooth and consistent, and to keep your shoulders low. You want to try and pull into the lower ribs. As you can see here from the front, I'm pulling into the lower ribs quite nicely, and also keeping my shoulders down. And at the back, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together in my lower mid-back. So that just keeps everything nice and stable. And when you're swimming, this will help to allow you to generate a lot of power. The one-arm row and overhead reach. Loop the band around the arch of the foot, hold both ends this time in one hand, and pull to the lower ribs. Make sure the shoulders stay low. Try and squeeze the shoulder blades down and together at the back, and this time you're reaching up and overhead with each rep. So this exercise is a little bit of coordination exercise as well as a strength exercise. So in swimming, we're not just doing a straight pull with the arm like we're doing a row. We are also including a lot of body rotation as we swim. So the key here is to try and coordinate the pull and the reach as if you were doing a swim stroke. So as you pull with one arm, you're reaching with the other. So that mimics the way that you've got this cross body tension as well as thoracic rotation as you're swimming. So this will also help to develop your core muscles to help to keep you stable whilst you're in the water. Double arm catch and pull. With this movement, you're trying to strengthen the initial catch of your stroke. Now this is quite an unusual movement compared to other athletic movements or resistant exercises that you'll do, because you're actually doing a little bit of internal rotation at the shoulder. Now the key is not to overstress your shoulder at the beginning of the catch when it's outstretched. So as you see, as I come out to the front, there's very little resistance on the band, and that should really mimic the way that you swim, because you don't want to push down too early, because that will push your legs down in the water. But you do want to get a really good hold of the water as your hand sort of comes underneath your elbow, so make a nice paddle with your forearm, and then that's when you've got purchase on the water, and you then can engage your lats and push the water behind you, and then go into a tricep extension to try and really finish off that stroke. So by doing that, you're strengthening many different parts of the stroke that you don't normally hit when you're doing other exercises. Other key points of this exercise is to really bend at the hip rather than the back. So you can see there I've got a nice straight neutral spine, leaning over, and basically all the pressure is going to my glutes and my hamstrings rather than my lower back. And the key is also to try and keep a reasonably high pace, but do not sacrifice form for this. alternate arm catch and pull. So similar to the double catch and pull, we're practicing making a really good paddle out of our arm. So we're trying to get a little bit of internal rotation and we make our forearm and our hand one big paddle that pushes the water behind us, and then we extend the arm to finish off the stroke. So we do a tricep extension at the end to really finish that stroke nicely. And that will give you a nice long stroke in the water and also increase your speed, which will give you a better race time. The key is to have the coordination between each side of your body, so you've got a nice rhythm, and also make sure you keep that form going nicely all the way through. Double arm push. So this exercise is the finish of the stroke in isolation. So with your elbow by your side, you're extending the forearm and bringing the hand past your hip. So this gives you a nice lengthy stroke in the water and give you an extra little bit of distance with every stroke, making you a bit faster on race day. The key is, as with most of these other exercises, is to keep a nice straight back, neutral spine, and hinge at the hips, and really focus on isolating the movement at the elbow, so you can really focus on strengthening your tricep muscle, which a lot of the time is a little bit weak in some triathletes. Prone arm glides. This one is a postural exercise. It's there to try and strengthen up some of the little stabilizers in your shoulder and some of the weaker muscles that you have in your upper back. So you might find this one very challenging to begin with. The key is to try and just keep the hands and the forearms just off the floor and allow them to glide from, a shoulder height to full extension at the top. And you want to keep the reps smooth and under control, and you really want to focus on, imagine the shoulder blades are sort of pushing into the back of your rib cage, and that will keep them nice and flat. You also have the option to add a little weight if you get very advanced in this exercise, but I'll do it a few times first just to make sure that you're ready for that. Unsupported Cobra. So this is another postural exercise, and it's a great one for giving you stable shoulders in the water. So the key is to externally rotate your arms so that your palms are facing outwards and your thumbs are pointing up to the sky or the ceiling. As you can see here, I'm keeping my shoulders low and down. I'm squeezing the lower shoulder blades together, and I'm using my upper spine, my thoracic spine, to curl up and away from the floor as I try and lift my arms as high away from the ground as possible. So this is going to work also your lats as well as all the little supportive muscles in your shoulder, and it should give you better thoracic extension, which helps in many different exercises, and it will give you a good position in the water as well. Double arm skull. This is a key exercise for developing a strong catch. You're trying to set a position of where you find that your shoulder allows you to make a really good paddle with a high elbow above the hand in the horizontal position, in the horizontal body position, so that if you are swimming, you'll be able to set your forearm and hand in the water and then use your lats to apply force to push your body through the water and propel you forwards. Another key point, as with many of the exercises in this circuit, you need to keep a nice straight back, and if you're standing, really hinge at the hips and make sure that the glutes and the hamstrings are taking a lot of the pressure away from the lower back. Dry land kick. So you can do this one either facing up as I am here, or if you have a bench, you can do it face down, which gives you a little bit more of the similar feeling to if you're actually swimming. And the key is really here to kick from the hip and not use too much knee when you're doing this one. So you're going to do a nice flutter kick, as I'm doing here. Keep it quite compact. And when you're swimming, you don't really want to make a huge kick, because that puts you off balance and sort of causes more drag. You want to keep it nice and compact, just enough to keep your legs from sinking, and really engage your core on this one. It's a really good core exercise. It teaches you to stay nice and tight throughout the whole core and keep a nice streamlined body position when you're in the water. Superman swim kick. Okay, this one's a great one for the core. It's really taxing, especially if you're not used to it, but it gives you a lot of good coordination. So you're really trying to use your core muscles to balance your body over onto your side, and when you feel that you're stable, you do a nice kick and a pull on that upper side of the body, and then you move on to the next. And keep rolling through, and that's very much as you would swim. You're just sort of adjusting your body weight in the water to allow you to roll from side to side, and that's where you get a lot of power from your stroke. So that's why we've included this one here. Swiss ball kick. So this one's a real killer for the core. So not only are you doing a plank, but also you're doing a nice compact flutter kick. And also make sure the body line is very nice and straight, and you're not hunching your upper back, because there's a tendency to do that if you're a little bit weak in the plank. So just take your time with this one, build it up gradually, and make sure you're hitting the form correctly each time, and then the repetitions or the duration will come after that. Okay, so if you got this far, thank you very much for watching the video. You're now ready to go and do the actual workout itself. I'll just bring up the slides from the beginning with the 2 workout options again, just so you can see them. And I'll also bring up the slide with each exercise and its place in the circuit, just so you've got a reference that you can very quickly look at whilst you're performing the circuit, and keep yourself moving that way. Okay, brilliant. So enjoy it, and see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye.